Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MIT Spring LOL Tournament 2016 Week 2, Match 1, I think, between All Random, All Ranked, and CLAM Ambassadors. I'm Adam, casting together with me is Fred, and we're ready to get underway with picks and bans.
Alright, so we have a very, very unsurprising first ban here today from All Random, All Ranked, and it seems like we talk about this every time a team plays against CLAM Ambassadors, Adam. The Singe ban.
Pretty much. We've seen the Singe on Marl Chartel only a couple times, but that was enough to know that he really has mastered that champion. Meanwhile, Katarina, targeted at Expatriate, another champion he rarely gets, frequently banned away from him. Volibear and Nautilus banned on the other side, both very strong in the current meta, and also champions played by a couple of their members. In particular, Volibear is one of the favored champions for M. Gravitas, and Nautilus, one of the supports that ZB Tech will play, and just a generally strong champion.
And we do see the Vayne ban coming out from All Random, All Ranked as the last ban.
Yeah. Not sure if this is targeted or just something they don't want to deal with. Or both. Who knows? In any event, in the right hands, Vayne, of course, carries super hard, and Poppy banned away. Okay, so we saw this played before.
It was Tirna Bus, about 2 weeks ago, who played Poppy to great effect, going super duper far ahead in lane. Unfortunately, not able to carry his team that game, but obviously showing that he is very, very good on this power pick right now.
Well, that's
pretty smart, man.
Nautilus also played by Tirna Bus.
Yes,
there.
yes.
And in both cases, Tirna Bus was able to get a big lane lead, but we questioned his mid-game play, and especially in the Poppy game, his itemization going full armor against a team with mostly magic damage.
Yep, and they were just unable to transition that into a mid to late game victory, but it's undeniable that champion was really, really strong for them coming out in the laning phase. Now, I don't know if I like it, but I'm very interested in the Aurelia first pick.
Aurelia was buffed on this patch. I don't actually remember what they buffed. Do you remember, Fred?
As you know, Adam, I don't read the patch notes, so yeah.
Well, she was buffed on this patch. That's about all I know. Also, Aurelia, when Marl Chartel can't get the Singe or the Garen, Aurelia has been one of his fallbacks. Though this game the Garen is available, I would actually be surprised if Marl Chartel did not go for that. It's a pretty solid pick into Aurelia, as far as I know.
Yep, oh. Garen is fairly good against Aurelia, and it is a good denial pick for Marl Chartel. What is he going to block? It is going to be that Garen.
And a Kha'Zix for H-Roll. Well, maybe for H-Roll, we don't know. Kha'Zix did get buffed a few patches back. I don't actually remember exactly what it was. Like, you can either use Q or W in Leap, but not both, or something like that. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a minor quality of life buff for Kha'Zix. Doesn't make him super OP, not like way back in Season 3 when his ultimate used to give him 50% damage reduction. That was a good time in League of Legends. That was fun stuff.
Yeah. Now, however, Kha'Zix has probably been, surprisingly, it's Kha'Zix, not Zed, has had the most benefit from the new item, Duskblade of Drakthar. At least from what I've seen, with that item, he just can go get crazy fed and just carry games like that. At least that's what I've seen in solo queue, but I'm just silver, so what do I know?
Alright, now, taking a look at these Aurelia buffs that we were talking about earlier, they are pretty minor. One of the buffs is to a mana cost. It's the mana on Blade Surge. Her Q is down by 10 points every rank. And actually, as someone who's played a lot of Aurelia, I can tell you that this is actually a pretty neat buff because the mana refund on Blade Surge doesn't actually scale with rank. So, before, when Blade Surge cost 60 mana and refunded 35 mana at rank 1, now it only costs 50 mana at rank 1, so you actually do get most of the mana back for using that spell at rank 1, and even at rank 5, the refund didn't used to be so great. Now you actually get half the mana back for that, so that's a minor buff. The other buff is that the AD ratio has gone up by 20%, which, again, is also pretty minor, but nice to see anyways. It's interesting to see Aurelia getting touched after so long.
Yeah, and I think the AD ratio will help, especially with your getting the resets on your Q off of the minions. So we've only talked about 3 champions so far. We've seen Jin and Shyvana locked in for ARAR, and meanwhile Clan Ambassadors took the Ezreal and the Zyra. I promise we'll get to all these picks eventually. So we saw the Shyvana before from M. Gravitas, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. He had difficulty stacking his Devourer and actually being relevant in that game, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to see if he does better this time. Despite the nerfs to Titanic Hydra, Shyvana's still very strong in the jungle. You get the Devourer, you get the Titanic Hydra. There's still a ton of synergy between the items. You just do a ton of damage while still being quite tanky.
Yep. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Shyvana. Unless you get absolutely slaughtered in your own jungle and just across the map, it's not actually very easy to stop you from farming the Devourer. And we see the Akali locked in instantly as the last pick for Clan Ambassadors. That is a very, very interesting choice, cementing that Zyra into the support position, Adam.
Okay, so Akali has actually been a recent favorite of Expatriate, especially when he can't get his Katarina. Now, unfortunately, in ranked, he hasn't had a ton of success with it so far, 35%, so we'll have to see how well he does with it. As far as I can tell, it might just be his team holding him back, based on some score lines. So we'll have to see.
The dank memes coming.
So to round out the comps, we had Ezreal, Zyra, and Akali for Clan Ambassadors, Orianna and Morgana for ARR. I don't know, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, something I do want to touch on before we even talk about the team comps is that neither top laner is actually taking TP this game, and neither mid laner is actually taking TP this game. So that is, that's very interesting. We haven't seen this very much, a game entirely without teleports. So the split pushing potential from these two teams is actually going to be relatively limited. Either that or they'll just 1v1 in the top lane the entire game. Yeah. Hard to tell.
I do like the summoner spell choices on both mid laners, however. Akali wants to get the kills and get the snowball rolling in the mid lane. I expect this to be an AP Akali, not tank Akali.
In the mid lane, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and I love the choice of Exhaust. I was worried when Narfi was hovering Ignite, but I think Exhaust is a very good choice against the Akali. As Orianna, it's just a very powerful summoner spell against assassins in general. So if Kha'Zix jumps you, you use Exhaust. Akali jumps you, use Exhaust, and it can turn around a duel.
Yeah. So, yeah. What do you think about this bot lane? Zyra support is not something we see very commonly, and it's actually very interesting to see MapHack go with that defensive summoner option on such an aggressive support. What do you make of that, Adam, in the bot lane?
I think it's the right choice here. I don't see Ezreal as having a lot of kill pressure in lane. He's a very safe laner, but because of the way you itemize generally on Ezreal, while it's hard to die in lane, you can generally farm up very safely. He's not a champion who often dies in lane either. He's just very safe, farming away a little bit of poke, and scaling up into the game with that tier and the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Okay, that's pretty fair, and I think Zyra can contribute more than enough damage to make up for Ezreal's relative lack of presence in the lane anyway, so that's all right. That makes sense. The Exhaust will be very useful in the late game as well against the all-in potential of Shyvana and Aurelia, so in that sense it is a wise choice of summoner spells, and I can agree with your analysis that lane is not going to be just going all in all the time.
Now, something that we do have to watch for, the Zyra is a very squishy champion. If you get caught by a Morgana bind, that's a very dead plant. Morgana Jhin have incredibly good synergy. One of the better bot lanes, especially with the Jhin. I mean, Jhin just is pretty strong right now. He did see some nerfs, but I think he's still going to be a very solid champion, and he doesn't have a ton of weaknesses throughout the game. He's just generally a solid champion. Not the best champion at any phase in the game necessarily, but just good.
Yeah, and Morgana Jhin is actually, when Jhin was first coming out, people theorized that Morgana Jhin was going to be a very, very strong lane, and indeed it did turn out to be a very, very strong bottom lane. So what happens here is that Morgana goes in and lands the bind, then Jhin can follow up with W, and if they both have level 6, Morgana can follow that up with her ultimate for something like 6 or 7 straight seconds of crowd control, and that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty darn good level 6 all-in.
And let me tell you, with that amount of CC, Jin's not going to have any trouble landing his ult.
So that is going to be a pretty strong lane, especially going into level 6. Now, let's talk a little bit more about these team compositions. Given all random, all ranked team composition, it's actually kind of cool that the Aurelia doesn't have TP, because that allows the Aurelia Orianna wombo to be set up a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the comp. Sorry, there we go. Okay. I was waiting for the portraits to show. Aurelia or Orianna. I can see Aurelia, actually both Aurelia and Shyvana as very good ball delivery systems. Not like your Malphite or Alistar, but it's still very good.
They have a good team fight.
They have a very good team fight. Lots of CC and a lot of cleanup potential. Jhin and Aurelia both, and Shyvana even, very good at cleaning up fights. Aurelia gets her resets. Jhin, I mean, when Jhin crits, he gets his really nice move speed. It lets him just position really nicely in fights once he has a bit of crit chance built. The other team comp, let's see, Akali, Zyra, Ezreal, Garen, Kha'Zix. I think they're looking for picks primarily. Like, get a pick, push down turrets, get a pick, take an objective. I think their team fighting without picks is probably a bit weaker, because I don't really see like a coherent synergy between them. With Ezreal and Zyra, you want to disengage and kite. With the other three champions, you want to just go in and wreck their carries.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, I think that I don't think there's necessarily a lot of options for Clambassadors to make before Akali gets Rylai's and before Ezreal really gets his core build going on. Just because there's not too much they can do. The only real CC on that team is going to be the Zyra Snare and the Zyra Ultimate. So until they can get some more of those kiting or pick tools, the Rylai's Crystal Scepter slow, the Iceborne Gauntlet slow field, until those tools can really come into action, they're just going to have a hard time going in, hiding, and doing anything except really a bunch of damage. Yeah. Now, the one thing I do like about this one is that if it does get later, all random, all ranked is going to have a really hard time peeling Expatriate off the backline. Morgana is not the ideal peel support you want for Akali in this situation.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think I also want to comment. I really like the team comp that Clambassadors has picked, both for them as a team and also against ARAR. And here's my reasoning for this. Clambassadors, what we've seen in the past, they play a very coordinated, very aggressive style of game. Sometimes this comes back to bite them. They will vastly overdive turrets and whatnot. But their team coordination is on point, and that works really well with a pick comp. Like, one person goes in, they're all going to know to go in and just have that innate synergy to just go in, right? Mm-hmm. What we saw last week from ARAR was kind of the opposite. A lot of split calls, poor focus in team fights. They did not seem the most coordinated, and that is where a pick comp will really get you. If you're not in the right place, or there's one person splitting off from the team at the wrong time, that's where you can easily get picked. So we'll have to watch to see if Clambassador can make those picks happen, but I suspect they probably will get at least a few, based on what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it fits their playstyle very well. Again, the problem is that I don't know if it fits their team comp as well as it fits their playstyle. Because until Ezreal gets that Iceborne Gauntlet, until Akali gets that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, I just don't know how easy it is going to be for them to find those picks in the first place. And wow, Sneaky Hitman actually takes down Marl Chartel for first blood. Very, very cool play in the top lane. Let's go back and take a look at what happened there, Adam.
Yeah, Corrupting Potion is a really strong item. Marl Chartel actually winning the trade, getting the first level 2. But as you see, the minions are pushing up, so he's not going to be able to deny too much from Sneaky Hitman. Sneaky Hitman, regenning with a Corrupting Potion, he's going to get the reset off of the minion, and then
he goes on to that minion in the back, dashes, and the auto attack gets flashed.
Very good Aurelia play. Yep. Very impressive, using the minions for the Blade Surge resets, not Blade Surging onto Marl Chartel until pretty much the last minute, and also using that Ignite just to get that last tick and get the kill. Mario Shotell still has his Ignite, you'll notice, but Sneaky Hitman did not have to burn his flash.
Yeah, and honestly, like, as we see some more action in the mid lane, Gravitas coming in for the gank onto Expatriate. Expatriate is just going to have to run out of there. Shyvana not having a lot of gank pressure early, but at the same time, not too much Akali can do other than run out. But yeah, if you guys at home want to try out some Aurelia in your games tonight, something really cool to keep in mind is that your effective engage range depends on how the minion wave is stacked. As long as you have a low HP minion to jump to, you can extend the effective range of your Blade Surge arbitrarily long. Jump to low health minions, get in, get a trade, and jump back out to another minion, and that gives you both a way in and a way out. You can slow them or stun them with Equilibrium Strike on your way into. It makes for really, really good lane trading. Now, Sneaky Hitman does have Fervor of Battle, which I don't think is going to be as strong in lane. Nonetheless, he did manage to find that solo kill on Mars Shotell anyway, so it seems to work out in his favor.
Yeah. The Fervor of Battle, as you said, not as good in laning as the Grasp of the Undying. However, in the long run, once he gets a few levels, it will do a lot of work for him. Aurelia loves to just use on hits. She's very good with them, and he's actually going for a Rage Blade. So really focusing on an on-hit split pushing build, and at that point Fervor will start doing a lot of work for him.
Yeah.
and actually he's already winning the trades pretty heavily.
You see some good damage coming out from Mars Shotell there. Once they hit level 6, here's another trick for you Aurelia players out there. You can use your ultimate is not very good, to put it lightly. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but something it is really good at is you can, number 1, Triforce procs. Number 2, you can use it to prep the wave for Blade Surge, so you have, again, both a way in and a way out. And that is a nice bomb.
That's a gank in the top lane.
That's a gank in the top lane.
Aatroll coming in.
Gonna get the stun. Gonna dash out. Ooh, gets the kill anyways. Doesn't have the stun for the follow-up in the turret dive. Very nice opportunistic play by Aatroll in the top lane there.
Sneaky Hitman... I don't know if there was a good way to play that. He was already kind of low, so that's where... And isolated, so Kha'Zix loves those sorts of situations. Even with a stun and the flash away, Aatroll able to just jump on him and burst him down. Nicely played by Aatroll, really comboing his abilities effectively to just get that kill. And that, I mean, he didn't have a ward and was really pushed up in the lane. Nice punish.
Yeah, that was well done. That was pretty well done, but not too much action across the map, except for the top lane. Mid laners are relatively even in CS. In the bot lane, Vim is down by about 6, so not too big of a deal at this point. The Ezreal unable to like really go aggressive in this Jhin Morgana lane, so not entirely unexpected. Gonna be totally fine. A relatively even laning phase on both sides again, except for the action in the top lane. And we do expect a quiet laning phase. Orianna's early game is pretty bad. Akali's early game is pretty bad. Ezreal just wants to farm up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Orianna's laning phase is bad. It's pretty safe, to be honest. It's kind of like a, oh, wow.
Oh, and we...
glad we were on top lane as it was.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaky Hitman is way more powerful than Mars Shotell at this point in the game because of his kill. Got that pickaxe first back while Mars Shotell only had the Doran's shield. Hadn't spent any gold yet. So that combined with the corrupting potion means... Actually, didn't even use the corrupting potion. Sorry, guys. Just does way more damage than Mars Shotell can handle, basically.
Yeah, he did get the...
The ignite, very helpful.
Yep. Yeah. Now, Mars Shotell is going to be falling a little bit behind here. He's down by 7 CS. He is down 2 kills, and Aatroll
just catching the wave. Yep. Yeah, making sure that someone picks up the XP.
Yep.
Now, Mars Shotell does have the Bomby Cinder, which is a pretty nice power spike in lane, especially when you have...
But Gravitas coming in for the lane gank.
Let's see. Well, let's see if he does anything with this.
He has his ultimate. He doesn't have red buff, but he has his ultimate.
Yeah. I don't think it'll work unless Mars Shotell pushes up. In fairness, the lane is pushing in that direction.
It's all about patience, and here's the patience we've been waiting for. Gravitas does come in, get some big damage onto Mars Shotell, burning the flash. Sneaky Hitman using the Blade Surge resets again, getting some good damage onto Mars Shotell, not quite being able to secure the kill. Flash burn, though.
Do you think that they would have gotten the kill if Gravitas had actually committed with the ult earlier?
I think it would have made that much more likely. I'm actually a little bit surprised Gravitas held the ult for as long as he did.
Yeah, I think after the flash, there was a bit of miscommunication between...
Ooh.
Okay. Martial Tell finally using the Ignite
Just
is
to
going to
discourage
survive.
the all-in.
Yeah, I mean, he did have his ult available, so if Sneaky Hitman dove the turret, I think you actually would have died for that. So probably not a bad use of the Ignite, making sure that Sneaky Hitman can't dive and get the kill.
And A-Troll gonna get out of that one.
What I wanted to say before, hopefully there's no action here. I meant, I love action, but...
Speaking of action, nice trade going down for Expatriate in that mid lane.
What I was going to say before, I think there was some slight miscommunication before between A-Troll and Sneaky Hitman, or just like lack of communication where Sneaky Hitman kept going in because he knew he could, and A-Troll Gravitas backed off because he saw the flash.
A-Troll getting chased out of the bot side jungle, not quite able to find that pink ward. Binding just barely misses the hitbox.
Didn't actually kill the Scuttler. It got very low, but he was forced back before he could finish it.
Nope. So what happened is he triggered the Lotus Trap, which told him that he was being spotted.
Yep.
And then his Oracle's buff actually went off, so he knew there was a ward there too. So instead of deciding to finish the Scuttler, he goes for the pink ward, but before he can get the pink ward, they actually collapse, and now Expatriate gets shock moved in the mid lane. Does use that stealth. Can he actually find a way out? He
No.
tries to flash, doesn't quite make it out. Gravitas burns the ultimate, pretty worth it.
That's where it's very good to hold the ult. Once
Yes.
you've forced the flash, then you ult to close the distance. As we see also trading in the top lane, Sneaky Hitman definitely getting the better of Marl Chattel, though he is low on mana, so it'll be hard to close anything. But Ignite is back up. I would not be surprised to see Sneaky Hitman going for something.
Ooh, H-Roll coming in. Chilling Smite already burned? Yeah, he doesn't have Smite up for that one. But not going to be able to get too much off of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would watch for Sneaky Hitman to go for a play with the Ignite up here.
Yeah, I think he might actually be able to find it. Oh, the Garen ultimate picks up the kill! Dangerous Game just barely doesn't keep him alive. Yep. Oh my gosh.
A little bit cocky there from Marl Chartel, or not Marl Chartel, Sneaky Hitman, sorry. Ignited, but only auto-attacked afterwards. It's not enough. Garen does do a lot of damage, even when he's behind.
Yeah, well, his ultimate doesn't have damage scaling, so it's going to do a lot of damage regardless. And it's very surprising, actually, to see Sneaky Hitman sitting on 310 mana as he died, not using any
mid lane, there's a gank.
There is going to be a gank in mid lane, but I'm not too sure. Oh, Expatriate doesn't have his flash, but they're going to be able to.
He doesn't have his flash, but Gravitas doesn't have his ult just
neither does Narfi, so that's going to be pretty okay.
In the bot lane, there haven't been any kills yet, but as we're seeing, Ezreal not the strongest laner. Tirnabas is getting the better of him so far because he's trying to stack that tier and a cull. So bit of a CS lead, but I think the Ezreal will be okay in the long run once he gets some items.
But again, like this, other than the top lane action, this early game has mostly just been very quiet. H-Roll has been trying to make some plays in the bot side, but hasn't quite managed to find the right angle as Narfi takes some blades to the face from Expatriate. Doesn't trade back quite as efficiently. And we see the Akali starting to get a little bit stronger. That Hextech Revolver coming in, giving Expatriate a little bit of sustain in that Orianna lane, something Orianna doesn't actually have. Being behind in CS in a melee matchup is pretty understandable, though he is going to just get stronger and stronger, and Narfi is going to be hard-pressed to respond to those trades. A pink ward, actually, would be really good for him to buy.
Yeah. Narfi playing the I love that play by Narfi. Well done. That was actually a really nice bait. Almost too obvious, but yeah, Expatriate fell for it, stayed too long. Narfi knew he had both the exhaust and the pink ward and M Gravitas coming to back him up.
Oh, Narfi is actually quite
forced a flash. Okay, good flash. Got him out of range of A-Troll before A-Troll could do any damage.
That's pink wards that are going to go down.
Two pink wards, both Gravitas and Narfi. Yeah, cheer the pink ward.
Oh, he's only going to get one. Oh no.
Doesn't actually finish the second one off. Maybe saving it for his laner. But yeah, very good bait. Well planned by Narfi and Gravitas.
There we go.
Reminds me of that time I saw Aphromoo killing two pink wards in the same brush, but Aphromoo was on Morgana, who has the worst attack speed in the game.
Oh god. Don't tell me. Don't even remind me of it.
Some more trading in the top lane. Marl Chartel actually starting to do okay in these trades. He does have, I mean, obviously he has Grasp, he has the Thami Cinder and the Chain Vest, going to help him quite a bit. But don't underestimate that Bami Cinder power spike for Garen. It does way more for you than you would expect, especially because it stacks Graspy and Dying for you. Expatriate just gonna sit in his thing.
Still taking damage.
Yeah, uses the Cutlass to slow down Gravitas. Atrial could be a bit caught out here. I don't know about this.
I don't
versus
really know about
3.
this play. This is a really, really messy situation here. Marl Chartel is going to actually have to hightail it out of there as the rest of the team is starting to collapse on him. He's going to use that Garen Q. Just walk out of there. And now some more action going down. Gravitas is caught this time, trades a bunch of damage back, but it's not enough to save him from Expatriate. Expatriate gets the ult reset, comes down onto Narfi, and Marl Chartel has rejoined the fight. That's a double kill for Expatriate. Sneaky Hitman, though, with a huge burst damage with Rage Blade and Fervor Battle finds the kill, but doesn't want to keep going on Marl Chartel as H-Roll comes in for the backup. That was a really, really messy situation, Adam.
Yep, 2 for 1. Gravitas got a bit caught out. Ulted in 1 versus 2 and didn't have the backup in time. If Narfi had been a bit closer, Narfi would have gotten a really nice 2-man shockwave, and that would have gone very differently. As it was, 2 for 1. Sneaky Hitman able to do some very nice cleanup work, but again, he was a bit late to the fight, as was Narfi, and as a result, they lost instead of winning in. That's a flash from Marl Chartel.
I mean, he was going to die to that if he didn't.
Yeah, he was going to die. Sneaky Hitman actually playing really well.
Bad choice, buddy. Oh, yeah, no.
Don't want to invade the jungle alone with no wards. Easy cleanup for Gravitas.
He had a ward. It just wasn't in the right place. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, buddy.
There are more than one ways to get to red buff.
Better luck next time. That's just unfortunate there.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. And they are going to be able to get a dragon off the back of that. Unsurprisingly, Jungler goes down. 3 people bot side. Comes get the dragon. Narfi doesn't even need to help. Just shoves up the wave.
5 stacks right there for Gravitas. Sneaky Hitman trying to trade under turret. I'm not sure that he really wants that.
No, he can't.
Marl Chartel does have pretty nice sustain. They're going to donate the blue buff over to Tierna Boss. Jin kind of likes the blue buff. It's not... A lot of his power is in his auto attack, so it's not the most necessary, but it's nice to have.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice, actually, given that Narfi was also in the area.
Yeah, well... Narfi does have the Athenes, and maybe they're thinking they're going to give their own blue buff over to him if they ever rotate back down to it.
All right, I can see that. Now,
Gank,
Expatriate.
But yeah, Expatriate roaming to the top lane is going to get spotted, though, so Sneaky Hitman should be safe to just back off.
Very wisely there. Is he going to try for it again?
Oh my god, Sneaky Hitman, why?
You went a little bit too far in. Is he gonna find the kill though? He doesn't have the pink ward, he doesn't have vision. Oh my god, he finds the kill anyways, Adokali!
That was unexpected. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, I think they underestimated how fed and like how big right now Sneaky Hitman is. He was able to go in, stack up the Rage Blade, and I mean this is a damage Akali. She's very squishy, dies in just a few shots.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Akali. You can stand in your Twilight Shroud all you want, but the second you start doing damage, it de-stealths you ever so briefly. And in that tiny, tiny window, Sneaky Hitman was able to, sneak in a kill before going down himself.
And also, I think a misplay by Marl Chartel. I think he ulted way too early in that fight. I mean, his ult is on cooldown, so clearly he used it. But as far as I can tell, he must have used it pretty early on.
Oh, not that.
Because if he had saved it, Sneaky Hitman would have gotten lower and would have been one-shot by it.
Yeah. I mean, that's... Garen ult is a little bit weird to use like that, just because there's not necessarily a damage indicator. So even for people who have played a lot of Garen, it's not very hard to miscalculate how much damage your ult's going to do. So it happens.
Exactly.
It happens.
Yeah. And also, there's a decent amount of sustain from Sneaky Hitman. He might have somehow burst sustained up a bit. I don't know what Rune Master setup he has. He certainly doesn't have Grat, so I don't really know. Probably had Corrupting Potion running or something like that. And W. Yeah, exactly. Did get a fair amount of shots off.
Yeah, he is maxing that W.
Marl Chartel does place a ward over by blue buff. I do like that ward if you can get it. It sees basically that whole jungle. If the jungler goes to farm blue side,
you're going to know about it.
Yeah.
Now, Sneaky Hitman is getting ganked to get in the top side, but is he going to be able to actually just kill H-Roll? H-Roll forced the ult out of that one. This is not what that Kha'Zix wanted. And now Sneaky Hitman just going for the 1v2, going in on Marl Chartel. Gonna give it up before he gets turret aggro. Very, very wise decision as we see even more people coming up top lane. Can Sneaky Hitman survive against Expatriate and Marl Chartel? He's just camping out in that bush for now, shows his face a little bit, and he actually goes in as the rest of his team comes back up. Narfi comes in with the shockwave, securing the kill onto Marl Chartel, and and Expatriate and MapHead are just forced to back out of that situation.
Very good rotation up to the top lane by ARAR. They knew there were actually three people sitting around there, and they responded in time. And that's actually...
Oh, the Jin Snare lands! MapHead is down!
That's a nice kill. Very nice snipe there. And maybe even more action. Expatriate...
1, 2... Flashes out of the ult range.
He's gonna...
Not get away from
That was another nice snipe with a W. Not really a snipe, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
From Tiernabas.
Yeah.
He's really landing those, and I mean, he's been farming all game, 167 CS, and we're seeing that right now.
We are, and that's gonna be 2 turrets and a whole bunch of kills handed over to all random, all ranked.
Again, very good rotation. Clan Bastards, I mean, this is the big weakness we've seen from them in the past. They tend to overstay their welcome a lot of the time and overdive. They stayed way too... Wow! Exhaust a little bit too late. So nice cleanup kill there, but still 2 turrets and a bunch of kills.
Yeah.
Still very much worth for ARAR, and that's let's see, 7,500 gold lead at before even 20 minutes. That is a huge lead right now.
Yeah, well, consider what they've gotten, right? They've gotten turrets all across the map. They have a bunch of kills on their solo laners. They got the dragon, and after that slow start to the early game, Orianna finished 1 item, Jin finished 1 item, Aurelia is almost sitting on 2 items. They can make those plays, and we see that all random, all ranked is just making the better map plays and better decision making overall.
Yeah, and
that's going to be a little unfortunate for Narfi. He's actually not going to survive that one.
Expatriate is dead though. Yeah, that's the crit from the Jin, and that's going to clean up the kill. Vim,
trading a lot of damage.
Nice trade there. Actually, Tiernabas quite low. Good thing for him, Vim does not have his ultimate right now, or he would be in a bit of trouble. Anyways, I was going to say... I don't remember what I was going to say. I was going to say a lot of this is actually just coming from the lead that Sneaky Hitman has been able to get. We've seen every time there are a bunch of fights that might start unfavorably, especially the last one where they just got a huge gold swing. The fight starts unfavorably for them in terms of numbers, but Sneaky Hitman is able to get so much damage onto the squishy members, the Kazakhs, the Akali, of Clanbassadors, that it just doesn't even seem to matter. Once the team rotates up, they have a huge health advantage, and that's really all they need to clean up these fights. And Tiernabas with some extremely good snipe.
Ooh, damage going in. But yeah, no, I totally agree. As we're going to get to in a little bit, as this fight breaks out, Expatriate is in the middle of the team, actually does not manage to go down just yet. There is chaos all over the map. Expatriate finally goes down. Let's take a look at what happened closer to the mid lane. Now, Aatroll is going to try to jump out of that fight, as MapHead is also very low on the back. Sneaky Hitman comes in and just cleans up those 2 kills very, very easily through the exhaust. Expatriate tries to get out, but dies in the attempt.
Well, Expatriate did his job. He killed, despite being, he's not doing very well this game, but still able to do his job, kill the AD carry. However, Sneaky Hitman was able to just clean up on the backside 2 easy kills on relatively low health members because the poke had already been done. The damage was already done.
Yep.
And that's going to be another turret. They're going to get the dragon. They're actually going to stay, and I think they'll be able to get this inhib turret.
Oh, they can push this turret for sure. They just got second dragon, which helps you burn down that turret. Marlshirtel doesn't recall in time. I don't think it's wise to go for the inhibitor here, but they might very well try for it. No, they're backing off. They're going to back off. That's smart. That's smart.
Marlshirtel.
Oh, Marlshirtel!
Get the kill, I think. Nope.
Gets stunned up for a little bit too long. Aatroll goes in. That's going to get the kill, though. That's going to be totally okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we said it even before it happened. They should have just backed off after the inhib turret.
Yes, they should.
There's
very little reason to stay in this situation, as the shockwave helps.
Yeah, gonna keep him safe. If he were a little bit more fed, that would have been a kill.
Yeah.
Marlshirtel is, despite, well, he's doing pretty decently actually. He has a lot of armor.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing we see about Marlshirtel, right? Like, we've seen this over and over again where he'll be forced out of his comfort singed pick, forced out of one of his other comfort picks, and forced to play a champion that he's not quite as good at, and then he just finds a way to get back into the game anyways. The thing that ARAR has to be careful about now is that Marl Chartel still has his ultimate. Didn't use it last fight.
I would say that Garen is one of his comfort champions, though. It's his second most played.
It is, but we've seen this over and over again, where he just goes behind mid lane and somehow manages to claw his way back up anyways. And this is really impressive.
This is a lot about just like how he plays the game. His laning phase has never been that strong. It's all been about the plays he can make later on. He's very good at doing that on pretty much every champion, just like going in and being the person who doesn't care. If we weren't streaming, I would have said that differently. Anyways, but yeah, he's very good at that. I mean, he plays Singed, so that's kind of what you do on Singed. Tilt them into chasing you and get a pentakill.
Yeah, well, he's not really going to get to do much of that this series, I have a feeling.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think I've seen him get his Singed in quite a while, to be honest.
And the times we've seen him get it have been a pretty good demonstration of why you shouldn't let him get it.
Right, exactly.
Even if Clan Ambassadors don't win all of those games, it's pretty clear to see why they shouldn't be allowed to get that Singed pick.
Yeah.
Tyranno boss, I don't know.
He got the Grom, but I saw that coming. I'm not sure why.
I'm not really sure what Sneaky Hitman was doing there. Just
he was
kind of standing by,
letting him die. Yeah, he had to take like one shot from the ground that would have gone differently.
We see the little bit of BM at the end when he was sitting on 80 health. It's like, all right, dude, you're on your own. Just goes into the river, takes Skull Cries and calls. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Team player.
It does put a bit of a does stall them out just a little bit because they can't really do anything without their 80 carry.
Oh man.
That is an Essence Reaver Jhin, by the way. We see both Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge as rush items on Jhin, depending kind of on what you want to go for. The CDR does give you a bit more safety, but the Infinity Edge just gives you more damage in general.
Yeah, Jin's crits are pretty massive.
Rapid Fire Cannon. Jhin is one of the few champions I actually think that item is good for. I think on most champions, Static Shiv will do more for you because it does way more damage and also gives you wave clear, especially on some champions who have low wave clear. Jhin, however, even with Shiv, his wave clear is not that good. And the Rapid Fire Cannon is so nice, especially when you have like a guaranteed crit in your kit.
Yep.
And just crits are so essential to him. It's like not so much about the damage or the attack speed, just the...
Now, this is very interesting because Marl Chartel has probably about 900 armor here and can just solo Narfi under the turret. So that
pretty much
works out.
Very nice solo kill, actually.
Yep. Ooh, Vim getting caught out. He's not going to survive that one, probably. Oh, he actually flashes out. But Gravitas goes in, does manage to find the kill just barely with that Titanic Hydra, but the fight breaks out on the backline. Tyranno boss is going very low from Expatriate. Tyranno boss actually survives as Sneaky Hitman comes in, and now Marl Chartel is forced to run. Tyranno boss is still very, very low, but does manage to sneak his way out. Sneaky Hitman is in what is effectively a 1v3, but finds one kill. Can he actually make it out? The snare does not hit. Marl Chartel hasn't taken damage recently enough. And the slow from the Lotus Trap is going to be enough to allow those two to get away. But very good presence by Marl Chartel in that entire series of events.
Yep, 3 for 3. Oh, no, 2 for 3, actually. That was a 4v5, actually.
Yeah.
Narfi was dead for that. So actually a win for ARAR. And, I mean, Sneaky Hitman is huge. What else can I say? They kind of got caught. And... still managed to get something out of that fight. First of all, Narfi getting soloed under his turret, I don't even know what you do about that, to be honest.
You don't split push against Garen with Orianna.
Pretty much. Sneaky Hitman is the split pusher on this team, and Sneaky Hitman can deal with Marl Chartel. Well, I don't know. Thornmail makes it tough. In any event, Sneaky Hitman should be the one to solo.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Like, yes, it's going to be tough for Sneaky Hitman to actually kill Marl Chartel now because of the Thornmail, the Sunfire Cape, and the Joram's Fist soon to be Sterix Gauge, but he's not going to die to Marl Chartel under turret. Now, Gravitas goes in, this is, like, this is the Season 6 equivalent to a wet noodle fight. Nothing's going to happen there.
Yeah. I don't know. I loved seeing those Mundo versus Mundo games in Korea. Those were the best.
Oh, man.
Blue buff going to be taken by probably Vim.
If you guys weren't around in Season 4, you missed a hell of a good time in League of Legends, let me tell you that.
Oh my
god.
Expatriate.
Oh, dies to the red buff anyways. Marl Chartel's in on the backline though. Tyranno boss going very, very low, but now Marl Chartel is in a 1v4. True Shot Barrage does not quite manage to hit. Vim gets caught on the back by the Orianna Shockwave. Now Sneaky Hitman gets a double kill. Doesn't quite manage to get the triple kill, gets a triple kill now, and he could have gotten that penta. Scumbag teammates. Scumbag teammates.
3 kills for Sneaky Hitman.
Yep.
Yeah, he could have finished that by himself, but the teammates helping out. They will get 2 inhibs off this, both bot lane and mid pushing in.
Yeah.
Nice fight.
That was just a really, really good fight. Like, despite the 1% shockwave, despite Tyranid boss going so low, we see what we talked about at the very beginning, Clambassador's tendency to just go all in. Now, the problem with that here is that Expatriate got blown up almost immediately at the end of the fight, or at the beginning of the fight, rather, and then when Marl Chartel went all in, he went all in by himself. And he had to 1v4 for a really long time, and it just gave Sneaky Hitman enough time to damage the backline, come in, clean up, almost get a pentakill if it weren't for his scumbag AD carry.
In fairness, Narfi also took a kill.
Yeah, well, okay. But, AD carries are the canonical scumbags of League of Legends, Adam.
If you say so. I'm an AD carry. Anyways. And in particular, I think partly the mistake of Clambassadors, they're just not going for Sneaky Hitman. The Aurelia is the one who's super fed on that team. Now, I'm not saying that, like, diving one person at a time 4v5 is ever a good idea, but if you're going to dive anyone, go for the fed guy. Though, in fairness, if you go for the Aurelia, then it's a 4-man shockwave and you die anyways. But still,
if you go for the Aurelia, she's probably going to kill you, honestly.
Yeah, but if you go for anyone else, she's going to kill you anyways. Might as well go for the person who will kill you the fastest. And I guess that gives you the most hope of winning a team fight. I don't know. We talked about this before. ARAR had the better team fight comp to begin with, and they're also pretty far ahead. It's very difficult, to my mind, for Clambassadors to win a team fight, even if they get a couple picks early on into the fight, because Sneaky Hitman is so huge and can just clean up fights so efficiently.
Yeah, and I think the real story of this game is Clambassadors did get out-comped a little bit in that their team comp is not the most coherent in what it plans to do, but the real deciding factor of this game was Sneaky Hitman getting super duper fed in the top lane and pretty much being able to do whatever he wants this game. Doing whatever he pleases is apparently not just for Mundo, as he's just rolling over the enemy team as Aurelia, and there's not that much Clambassadors can do about it at this point. Now, they are going to try for Baron. I don't actually know if this is the right decision. It would be much safer and much easier to just siege up the top lane for that last inhibitor. But here's the thing. Waves are pushing. Marl Chartel gets cut. Starex is popped. Can he actually make it out? I don't know if he can. No, doesn't quite manage to get out alive. And M. Gravitas goes all in. Expatriate goes very, very low in the back. Gravitas is still almost full HP, and this is just going to be a clean sweep for all... Okay, maybe not that clean. Tuna Boss goes around the back.
Easy to forget that there are still 2 assassins on the side of Clambassadors, so they can always pick up those exit frags.
Yeah, but no, I honestly, I don't know why they're chasing here. This is unnecessary. I honestly think the correct play would have...
It's actually not bad. But yeah, keep going.
Well, they're delaying the recall, but they could just as easily be getting the top inhib.
Well, they are. That's the point. They're delaying the recall, and then the 2 people who have all the attack speed getting top inhib. So I think that's actually a decent play.
That's fair.
Making sure that H-Roll can't.
Oh, H-Roll.
Nicely played.
Well played. Well played. Very good job by ZB Tech there, actually.
Yeah, Expatriate's dead.
Sneaky Hitman just
Ignite
gonna
and
find the
away.
kill.
That's the surrender, and yeah, they were about to win anyways.
Yeah, they were.
ARAR, we said it before, slightly better team comp, but importantly, Sneaky Hitman got fed, and they played completely around him. They did. And that's why they won.
This game was all about Sneaky Hitman.
Very well played, very coordinated compared to what we saw from them before, and playing to the win conditions that the game set up for them.
Yeah.
So, nicely played. We'll be back soon with Game 2.
All right. See you in a bit, guys.